the President of the Republic of Namibia, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah, to address the Parliament and the people of Namibia on the state of the nation. Your Excellency, you have the floor to address Parliament.
Thank you. Please be seated. Honorable Dr. Sarah Kuwangerwa Madila, Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Lucas Muha, Chairperson of the National Council, Honorable Deputy Chairperson, Right Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Arija Ngurare, and Leader of the Government Business in Parliament, Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry, Mines and Energy, Honorable Sophia Nango Shaningwa, Secretary General of SWAPO Party, Honorable Emmanuel Nashinge, Leader of the Official Opposition, leaders of political parties represented in Parliament, Honorable Members of Parliament. I also recognize our special guest, Your Excellency Dr. Nangolo Mbumba, our fourth President of the Republic of Namibia, Her Excellency Lucia Vetboy, Vice President of the Republic of Namibia, Lieutenant General Epaphras Denga Ndaitwah, First Gentleman of the Republic of Namibia, Excellencies, members of Diplomatic Corps, I have also been informed that as part of the special guest, we have a delegation from Chama cha Mapinduzi of Tanzania in the audience, members of the media, fellow Namibians. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to you, Honorable Sarah Kuwangerwa Madila and Honorable Philbus Katamelo, on your respective elections as Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the 8th National Assembly. Equally, I thank the former Speaker, Professor Peter Kachavivi, and former Deputy Speaker, Professor Lloyd Kasingo, who have executed their task as presiding officers in this chamber with distinction. I also thank our former Deputy Prime Minister, Comrade John Mutorwa, and members of the National Assembly who served in the 7th National Assembly for their contribution to the better Namibia. Honorable members, I'm addressing you in this reverend chamber without the guiding presence of some of the founders of our republic who have passed on. We should therefore honor the memory of our founding president, father of the Namibian nation, and leader of the Namibian Revolution, His Excellency Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma. We also honor the memory of Comrade Dr. Hage Godfrey Geingob, the first Prime Minister and the third President of the Republic of Namibia. We salute these giants of the land of the brave, whose legacy can never die and whose debts of gratitude we can never fully repay. May their revolutionary souls rest in perfect peace. Honorable Speaker, my gratitude goes to Comrade Hifikepunye Pohamba and Comrade Nangolo Mbumba for the steady leadership they provided over time, and particularly during the storms of adversity that raged more recently in our nation's history. We are grateful to you for enduring commitments to Namibia. We wish them good health and happiness as they continue to guide us. Madam Speaker, fellow Namibians, Article 32, subsection 2 of the Constitution placed the President under the obligation to annually, and I quote, as you have said, Honorable Speaker, address Parliament on the state of the nation and on the future policies of government, report on the policies of the previous year, and be available to respond to questions. End of quote. Accordingly, it's my honor to join this House today to deliver my maiden State of the Nation address as the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia. On the 27th of November 2024, the Namibian people were loud and clear by electing the SWAPO Party and I to lead our nation for the next 5 years. I thank the SWAPO Party members for presenting me to the Namibian people as its candidate. I further thank the Namibian people for the trust and confidence they have placed in me by voting me to become the 5th President of the Republic of Namibia. In doing so, the Namibian people have directed the SWAPO Party and I to implement the 2025-2030 SWAPO Party Election Manifesto under the theme Unity in Diversity, Natural Resources Beneficiation, and Youth Empowerment for Sustainable Development. Namibians have placed their hopes in us to lead and to transform our country on the basis of the promises we have made in our victorious manifesto that must be implemented without failure. When I took the oath of office on the 21st of March 2025, I pledged to be the President of all Namibians and to lead our nation with integrity and accountability by fostering unity of purpose and teamwork. As Namibians, we must focus on the implementation of policies and programs to create jobs for our young people and to bring about tangible socio-economic development. Our implementation will be guided by 7 identified priority sectors and 8 critical economic enablers. I'll revert to those strategic priorities and their enablers later in my address. Madam Speaker, I will now proceed to report on the policies of the previous year, which also conclude the good work of the 7th administration of my predecessors, President Nangolo Mbumba and our late President, Dr. Hage G. Geingob. I will then outline the vision and implementation priorities of the coming years as articulated in the SWAPO Plan Part Manifesto implementation. This plan will serve as the government's blueprint to deliver on the binding contracts that we have entered into with the Namibian people. Today, the 24th of April, marks exactly 34 days since I took a solemn oath of office cognizant of the urgent need to improve the livelihood of our people. Since independence, peace, stability, and the rule of law in our country have served as a strong foundation of our development. It is why we need to use this strong foundation to increase development and prosperity for our people. The Harambee Prosperity 2 is concluded. Hence, we account and reflect on the achievements and challenges encountered during the 2024-2025 period, which is under review. Owing to the strengthening of our processes, systems, and institutions, we witnessed a smooth transition of power following the untimely passing of our third president, His Excellency Dr. Hage Geingob, on the 4th of February 2024. Notable progress was also made during the reporting period, with key bills being finalized and some ready for tabling. The following laws were passed by Parliament. 1. Vehicle Mass Act 2024, Dissolutions of Marriage Act 2024, Act 10 of 2024, Property Practitioners Act 2024, Act 11 of 2024, Civil Registration and Identification Act 2024, Act 13 of 2024, Health Professionals Act 2024, Act 16 of 2024, Marriage Act 2024, Act 14 of 2024, Regulation of Status of Certain Residents of Namibia, their descendants, and Foreign Spouses, Act 2024. The following bills are now on their way to Parliament for tabling, and I humbly urge parliamentarians to facilitate them during this sitting. 1. The Insolvent Bill. 2. Regional Council Amendment Bill. 3. Local Authority Amendment Bill. 4. Constituency Development Fund Bill. 5. Land Bill. 6. Thank you for the National Council. Public Finance Management Bill. 7. Namibia Investment Promotion and Facilitation Bill. 8. Statelessness Determination and Protection Bill. 9. Namibia Citizenship Amendment Bill. 10. Namibia Refugee Control and Recognition Amendment Bill. And 11. The Legal Aid Amendment Bill. Honorable Speaker, our Constitution places great emphasis on environmental protection. During the period under review, the first ever environmental crime court was opened in Otjowarongo to deal exclusively with crimes involving fauna and flora. I had the honor to officially open that court last year. Public procurement is important for economic activities. In that vein, I'm pleased to inform that the Code of Good Practice, which prioritizes local content, has been operationalized. To further improve transparency, accountability, and management of procurement data, the electronic government procurement portal is now ready for use by offices, ministries, and agencies. In the reporting period, government has made commendable strides to grow the economy after the devastating COVID-19 pandemic. Subsequently, the 2024-2025 budget delivered yet another prima surplus, notwithstanding the decline in government revenue, largely due to the lower income from the diamond sector and from the SACCO common revenue pool. Fellow Namibians, the global economy is in a state of flux when trade protectionist policies and prolonged conflicts, creating marked uncertainty and volatility. Onward-looking policies by the major economies calls for the intensification of our efforts to become self-reliant. According to the Minister of Finance, the Namibian economy is estimated to have grown by 3.8% in 2024, reflecting a slowdown from 4.2% recorded in 2023, and is expected to expand to 4.5% in 2025. While government debt remained high at 61% of GDP for the year under review, we are hopeful that the projected expansion of the economic activities in 2025 and 2026 can lead to a reduction in government debt. A sustainable track record of fiscal prudency, coupled with prospects from oil and gas, tourism, and green hydrogen, have contributed to the hope of our country's outlook. Fiscal priorities for the 2025-2028 MTEF will focus on policy measures that will promote growth and reduce expenditures for microeconomic stability through deficit reduction and debt stabilization. Import coverage. The stock of the international reserve rose to 63 billion Namibian dollar, a 17.2% year-on-year increase in import cover of 4.2 months. This is above the international benchmark of 3 months import coverage. The Verevicea Sovereign Wealth Fund, which was established to secure generational wealth, has grown steadily from the initial seed capital of 262 Namibian dollars in May 2022 to $450 million in January 2025. Water supply security. In 2024, Namibia experienced a devastating drought, with agriculture, which accounts for at least 23% of total direct employment, negatively affected. However, in 2025, large parts of the country received good rains, reviving prospects for agricultural productivity. In December 2024, Namibia gazetted import tariff for the African Continental Free Trade Area to increase trade and economic activities with other African markets. Honorable Speaker, the following tax reforms will be implemented during the 2025-26 financial year. 1, reduction of the non-remaining company corporate tax rate to 30% in 2025 and further down to 28% in 2026. Taxpayers will be granted a further amnesty to get their tax affairs in order by additional 2 years until 2026. 3, increase the mandatory registration threshold for VAT to 1 million Namibian dollars to provide tax administration relief to SMEs. 4, planned special economic zones are expected to have a corporate income tax rate of 20%, the same as for all SMEs, with annual turnover below the defined threshold. Those tax reforms seek to enhance the competitiveness of the tax system to attract investment and foster private sector development, broaden the tax base, improve revenue mobilization to maintain equity in taxation regime. According to the Namibian Statistics Agency, the broader unemployment rate is at 36.9%, and the youth unemployment is at 44.4%, which is unacceptably high. The 8th administration has made the fight against unemployment as a key priority. During the reporting period, 206 SMEs participated in the SMS financing strategy from all 14 regions. The Omukwe Capital Fund, the first public venture capital fund, was registered in December 2024. Currently, 7 financial institutions are participating in the credit grantee scheme with a combined total disbursement of 84.3 million Namibian dollars by December 2024. The solution to high unemployment is also to invest in business and commerce. Hence, our focus on upskilling the MSME development by supporting industrialization, value addition, and the professionalization of sectors such as creative industry and sports. We will be able to reduce high-level unemployment in the medium to long term. Fellow Namibians, genocide and reparation. I commend my predecessors for their leadership in the genocide apology and reparation negotiation with Germany. I fully appreciate the challenge and the opportunities that lie ahead in order to heal the wounds and move towards a path of reconciliation and reconstruction. In 2006, the National Assembly unanimously passed a motion on the 1904-1908 genocide, which was spearheaded by the late Ovaherero Ombara Oshitambi Kwimarirako. May his soul rest in eternal peace. The motion unequivocally stated that Germany should, 1, acknowledge that German state committed genocide in Namibia during the period 1904 to 1908. 2, render unconditional apology to Namibia. And 3, pay reparation. Negotiations by their nature are complex and require a process of give and take. In May 2021, Namibia and Germany agreed on the joint declaration to guide the process of acknowledgement of genocide, rendering of an apology, and payment of reparation by Germany. Beyond the 1.1 billion euro, which Germany had said was final amount, Germany acceded to our demand to allocate additional resources. We have to proceed with the knowledge that we have made remarkable progress over the past years of negotiation, and there is an opportunity for a solution to be found. Madam Speaker, our activities as governments are geared towards better housing, health, and education facilities. During the reporting period, 1,772 new plots were fully serviced with water, sewer, electricity, and road services in various parts of the country through combined efforts and investment by government, Shack Dwellers Federation, and the private sector. The National Housing Policy was adopted during the reporting period, laying the groundwork for urban development. During the 2024-2025 financial year, a total of 1,514 house units were constructed nationwide. Notwithstanding legal disputes that continue to delay the handover of some of the houses under the Mass Housing Development Program, 319 houses under these programs have been handed over to the owners at Swakopmund. For better management of urbanization, 26 townships were proclaimed during the reporting period, bringing the total to 115 townships proclaimed over 5 years, of which 15 townships have been formalized. On land reform and management, as the unwilling buyer, willing seller principle was not working, following the 2018 National Land Conference, the government introduced the land tax and increased focus on absentee landlords. I request this August House to urgently pass the land bill to ensure that there is a balanced land redistribution. Over the next 5 years, we will ensure that at least 130,000 hectares of land are added to the portfolio of productive land. Fellow Namibians, the government is not satisfied with disparities between the haves and the have-nots. We believe that creating jobs and business ownership opportunity for Namibians is the key to wealth creation and thereby reducing poverty and income and wealth inequalities. Understanding the corresponding relationship between education, hunger, and poverty, the National School Feeding Program grantees grants a daily meal to 466,860 learners in public schools to arrest hunger and mitigate children drop out of school. The government has successfully piloted homegrown school gardens to supplement the feeding schemes with more nutritional variety. Social grants as part of our social safety nets to the most vulnerable members of our society amount to a total of 5.49 billion Namibian dollars is allocated. This includes 979 million Namibian dollars for the veterans' welfare. The old age social grant takes care of 217,870 beneficiaries. Honorable Speaker, I know that our late President Genkop expressed his wish, which I support, to incrementally increase the old age social grant from the current 1,600 Namibian dollars to 3,000 Namibian dollars over a period of time. I plead with my parents, who are my elders, that we have to take a very difficult decision. This financial year, not to increase the old age social grant. This is due to the urgent need to prioritize our children, the young people, by constructing sports facilities and funding youth-related empowerment initiatives that will lead to job creation for our youth. I give my assurance to our old age citizens that the incremental increase of old age social grants will start during this MTF. That's between me and those, the beneficiaries. The figure is between me and the beneficiaries. The disability grant benefits, mind you, it's a maiden speech, eh? It's not a farewell because I never came back. It's a maiden speech. The disability grant benefit, 58,087 Namibian dollars, while orphans and vulnerable children grant benefits 375,763. Notably, the government has successfully increased the child disability grant from 350 Namibian dollars to 1,600 Namibian dollars. Households that have been converted from the food bank to a conditional basic income grant have increased from 8,238 households to 21,697, thus benefiting 180,485 people during the pilot rollout and the period under review. Madam Speaker, a health nation is a productive nation. We will ensure the enactment of the Universal Health Coverage Law to serve all Namibians by rolling out a standard health care package. The government shall extend rural health services, improve intermediate hospital services, and commence construction of the Category C Havana District Hospital in Commerce region. So finally I have come, it will restart. It's coming, it's coming. Oh, thank you. Fellow Namibians, the development of any country depends on the quality of its human resources. To that end, 227 schools were connected to water supply, while an additional 512 new classrooms were constructed during the reporting period, against a national backlog of 4,550 classrooms as at 2023. Also, various sports codes were integrated into the educational curriculum, delivering a more holistic approach to learning. The higher education sector has been expanded with new vocational training centers that were established at Kurenkuru, Korihas, and Keitmas during the reporting period. a new Namibia University of Science and Technology campus was opened at Ludres. Madam Speaker, the Namibian government has taken a zero-tolerance stand against gender-based violence. I urge all stakeholders to work together to fight the evil of gender-based violence and violence against children. I console with the parents and family of a 5-year-old Ingrid Masdrop, whose young life was brutally cut short at Okahanja as we were celebrating our independence. Namibia must be a safe place for all citizens and visitors to work and raise their families. I call on NAMPOL to intensify visibility patrol to eliminate crime in our community. In a move to improve efficiency through digitalization of service delivery, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Immigration, Safety and Security has rolled out a biometric fingerprint system to 19 towns, and the ministry will also intensify the rollout of e-IDs to the population. Fellow Namibians, while we have done well at the top level of government and parliament, in as far as women and men representation is concerned, I have noted with great concern that 40 of the 104 National Assembly seats are occupied by women, representing 39%, a decline from 47% in the 7th Parliament. 50%, from 50% in the 7th Parliament. Political parties need to find a way to fight retrogressive actions. You might consider to pass a law to ensure 50-50 women and men representation in Parliament. In fact, the current 39% is due predominantly to the SWAPO party policy of zebralists. Fellow Namibians, in the period under review, the government, through the Ministry of Works and Transport, employed a number of qualified artisans from the Association of Unemployed Artisans in the renovation and maintenance of government immovable assets. These include the Katutura Intermediate Hospital, the Government Museum in Windhoek, aerodromes, as well as construction of roads and railway infrastructures. These efforts contribute to employment creation among the youth. Madam Speaker, infrastructure is a critical enabler for economic development. In the energy sector, the following projects were concluded: the commissioning of the 20 megawatt Omburu solar photovoltaic power station at Omaruru, the 54 megawatt annex plant expansion at Walvis Bay, and the 20 megawatt Moses Garweb solar project at Usakos. The pre-urban electrification program has connected about 12,573 households to the grid. In the water In the water infrastructure sector, the commissioning of Phase 3 of the Kwiseb Collector to Swakopmund pipeline replaced. The expansion of the rural water network in Ochombinde, Katima/Kongola, and the Rakana South have improved access to potable water. Kaluheke-Oshakati Canal renovation continues. We made tangible progress in the transport and logistics with the completion of the Winduko-Kahanja dual carriageway, the Swakopmund, Hens Bay, Kamajaba Road, Phase 1, Section A, and the Wolf's Bay, Karsberg-Tumeb rail upgrading Phase 1, the Northern Railway Line extension, Phase 3, construction of Oshakati railway station building and civil work has also been completed. Ongoing projects to be completed over MTEF include the Windhoek Hosea Kutako International Airport dual carriageway, Phase 2A and 2B. The Swakopmund Kamanyaba Road, Phase 1, Section B. The Walvis Bay Swakopmund Freeway upgrade, Hobabis Aminius Arano Section B, between Ondrepapa Aminius. Ondrombapa, I wanted you to say it. You are my son. In addition, there are many others there I want you to say as I'm going. In addition, the Ochuarongo Railway section, Phase 2. This is the other one, the Sand-Verhaal. Okay, Batch Hall Broom Railway line upgrading, Phase 1, and the Karibeb-Usakos Road rehabilitation. Fellow Namibians, the world is changing at a rapid pace, and international relations are becoming increasingly uncertain. As a nation, we must remain attentively to those changes by leveraging our unique geographical location, our natural resources, and our assets. Our proximity to important trade routes and border with peace-loving nations constitute a significant asset in strengthening our economic diplomacy that remain a centerpiece of our foreign policy. Regionally, Namibia continues to implement SADC decisions aimed at the maintenance of peace and security in the region. Subsequently, we continue to honor our financial obligations towards peacekeeping missions. Without peace and stability in the region, there is no development, and regional integration would be an illusion. In that vein, Namibia continues to support all diplomatic and political efforts aimed at finding lasting solutions to the conflict in the region and beyond. The Women, Peace and Security agenda remains one of the highest priorities of Namibia. Against that background, in October 2025, Namibia will join the international community in commemorating the 25 years of the Women, Peace and Security agenda since the adoption of the landmark resolution 1325 that Namibia sponsored. Madam Speaker, Namibia, during the reporting period and beyond, Namibia continued to advocate for the sovereign equality of states and call for the lifting of unilateral cohesive measures against Cuba, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. Namibia reiterates its call for the full implementation of the relevant UN and AU resolutions for the holding of the UN-backed referendum on the right to self-determination for the people of Western Sahara. The people of Palestine have the right to live a peace, security, and dignified as opposed to the continuous humanitarian toll of genocide. Namibia reaffirmed unequivocal support for the inalienable rights of the people of Palestine to self-determination, considering our country's grief. Listen to this, my dear son. Considering our country's grief-stricken history of experiencing atrocity and genocide, we know what it is, and that's why we don't want this to happen in any part of the world. Namibia holds dear the values of multilateralism and international cooperation for the benefit of humanity. Hence our commitment to the implementation of the SADC Strategic Indicative Plan, the AU Agenda 2063, and the recently UN adopted the Pact for the Future, a consensus document that seeks to review global efforts towards peace and sustainable development, and of course other international instruments to which we are members. And Namibia was honored to co-facilitate this UN Summit for the Future. Honorable Speaker, Namibia values the partnership we have with many countries of the world, including the United States of America, in different areas of cooperation. With reference to the recent trade tariff introduced by the American administration, it is our belief that the principle of reciprocal tariffs creates opportunity for renewed dialogue on fair trade and equity. To that end, the Namibian government stands ready to engage the US government on a dispensation that is mutually beneficial. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, I'm now turning to the 8th administration and the implementation of the 7 priority areas through the 8 critical economic enablers. The 2024-2025 financial year is now behind us, and we look forward to the future with our eyes set on what lies ahead in 2025 and beyond. As we turn the page to the next chapter, let us think about Namibian story we would like to write. We have to write it together. As citizens of Namibia, we can write the next chapter of our common destiny when we accept that it should not be business as usual. Our plans to deliver on our theme, unity in diversity, natural resources beneficiation, and youth empowerment for sustainable development through the SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan, we cannot realize that ambitious undertaking contained in our manifesto if we continue to do things in the same manner, yet expecting different results. I repeat again here what I've been saying. I'll repeat again here what I've been saying. We are too few to be poor. And definitely, we have the capacity. We need just to have the will to eradicate poverty in our country. The plan that we have, which clearly outlines 7 priority areas and 8 critical economic enablers, must drive the socio-economic transformation we have committed to deliver to our people over the next 5 years. Allow me to mention those 7 priority areas for each and every one of us to know them and to work towards achieving them. These priorities are agriculture, sports, youth empowerment, quality education and training, creative industry, quality health and social welfare, land, housing, and sanitation. The 8th administration is planning to deliver on those 7 priorities through 8 critical economic enablers, which are mining, energy, oil and gas, tourism, agriculture, water, fishery, and transport and logistics. To reach our goals, I am calling for government that is working for the next 5 years to work with one mind and one heart to ensure that the 7 priorities and critical economic enablers are realized. I have also directed that this must be integrated into NDP 6 and in all ministerial plans. I must tell you, the 8th administration has hit the ground running, and we have to deliver. And we make a commitment to work like that until our term comes to an end. Madam Speaker, Namibia has conducive environment for foreign and domestic investors to invest in various sectors of the economy. This should allow us to diversify and grow our economy in order to fight unemployment, which disproportionately affecting our young people. For a long time, we did not fully invest in value addition and natural resources beneficiation, which the 8th administration government has now decided to focus on as a frontier for job creation and economic growth. Strategic projects and programs will be partly funded through the national budget, public-private partnership, as well as domestic and foreign investment. For us to reach our goal, we must commit ourselves to hard work with honesty and integrity. We must fight the evil of corruption. President Mwalimu Nyerere Kabarak once said, and I'll keep. I didn't hear your clap. Only one, only my son clapped. So I'll continue to quote President Nyerere, who once said corruption is an act of treason. I quote to him in my inauguration, and I'm quoting it now, and I'll continue to emphasize the fact that corruption is an evil that diverts limited public resources away from development. I'm pleased that efforts to combat corruption have been reinforced through Whistleblower Protection Act and soon the operationalization of the Witness Protection Act, alongside the implementation of the second National Anti-Corruption Strategy, and this act marked important steps forward our fight against corruption. We should make sure of their implementation and their use. Fellow Namibians, mining contributes 12% to our gross domestic product and over 50% of our foreign exchange earnings. Regrettably, this figure does not reflect the true potential of mining and our mineral resources. We all know that value addition and natural resources beneficiation equals job creation and industrialization. As part of value addition, the high iron Oshivelo plant was opening in Arandes, which I opened on the 11th of April 2025. During the construction, 400 people were employed. While in Arandes, I have met a number of investors who attended the ceremony, and the interest which is shown is that we will expect the production of steel in Namibia. And that is one thing I have asked those investors to make deliberate action to invest on that so that the steel can be made in Namibia. I would want to see cars made with Namibian steel. That is very important, and that's what we are looking for. Among others, the critical minerals such as lithium, cobalt, manganese, and rare earth elements are the target for value addition. We need really to add value to these resources. Currently, only a fraction of our marbles is exported as finished products. I've seen the one in Caribbean. But there is a need, and we are working aggressively to mobilize investment in this industry in order to scale up the value addition of our marbles. We want to see Namibian tiles and all products that come from marbles to be in the market as finished products. Currently, a few are exported to America, and those people really, when I met them, they are showing interest to increase more. The oil and gas sector holds the potential to transform our economy in the next 5 years. This new industry requires close monitoring. Hence my decision to place it in the presidency. As I look to nature, its potential for the benefit of Namibians. And to gain maximum benefit from this industry, the oil refinery is part of the program. The 8th administration will place unwavering focus on ensuring that Namibia achieve first oil production within the shortest time frame. We will work maybe 4 or 5 years. Oh yes. We will work with strategic partners, streamline regulatory process, and invest in the critical infrastructure to unlock the full potential of our hydrocarbon resources. This milestone will not only fuel our energy security, but also drive rural and pre-urban electrification, job creation, local capacity development, and sustainable growth for generations to come. Madam Speaker, mineral beneficiation can only be enabled by sufficient quantity of energy and water. The desalination plants to be set up in a Rongo region will be critical enabler for unleashing our country's full economic potential, thereby increasing output for the mining sector. It must also be underscored that Namibia is the third highest producer of uranium in the world. As part of the value chain, we must not shy away from using this God-given resource to contribute to our energy mix. While I'm not in position to tell you when we will have a nuclear energy power plant in Namibia, I can assure you that the discussion will certainly begin this financial year. Strategically located industrial zone along the coastal region of our country will be placed close to our port infrastructure and will act as a key exporter hub. Those special economic zones are going to be key hosts for competitive industry, which will help transition Namibia from a primary extractive to industrialized economy. The government will provide a conducive environment for the private sector to thrive and will provide the requisite enabling infrastructures delivered on economic promises of the manifesto. We have a good track record of working with domestic and international investors, and we aim to improve on our collective efforts. We call on the private sector and other stakeholders to join us, unlocking the opportunities that lies ahead. Agriculture. As our founding president taught us, a nation that cannot feed itself will never be respected. By placing emphasis on food security, climate resilience, and competitiveness agriculture, the 8th administration aims to reduce agricultural imports by 8%. During the 2025-26 financial year, the government will inject a capital amount. Don't worry about this one. I know what I'm talking about. Seriously, just wait for the work to be done. Of 561 million Namibian dollars into agricultural infrastructure. The Greens infrastructure, the Green scheme will be put into full operations, and the agro-processing will be intensified. We also intend to introduce cattle breeding improvement. We talk about the bulls and cattle head restocking schemes with the aim to improve the beef industry. The breed improvement is targeting emerging, resettled, and communal farmers. Fellow Namibians, sports. The sports industry is a major part of the global economy. We should move away from looking at sports only as a recreation and entertainment, and regard it as an avenue that should be harnessed to create sustainable livelihood and generate wealth, especially for the youth. The sports industry, you must know, it includes research and development, talent management, construction and marketing, creating many new business opportunities, and stimulating job creation. The 8th administration will therefore work towards the professionalization of sports code, targeted investment promotion, and sports infrastructure development. To give effect to our agenda, the construction of the following sports facility will commence during this financial year. Construction of Category 2 stadium with capacity of 10,000 seats at Omfia in Oshkoto, Mariendal in Hardap, Hobabis in Omaheke, Katima Murilo in Zambezi, Ochuarongo in Ochodonjupa, and Nkurenkuru in Kavango West. Construction of and renovation of 7 Category 3 stadium with a capacity of 30 seats at Oshakati in Oshana region, Rundu, 30,000 seats. What did I say? Oh, 30,000 seats. At Oshakati in Oshana, Rundu in Kavango East, Independence Stadium in Commerce, Outapi in Omsati, Swakop Mundi in Erongo, Enani in Ohangwena, Catemans in Karas. Construction of multi-purpose youth centers at Marienda Haldap, Kurenkuru Kavango West, and Opuo Kunene region. Further, 200 million Namibian dollars has been put aside for basic sports facilities in the constituencies. This is just for this year. The government, together with the private sector, will continue to invest in the professionalization of sports league and hosting of international sports events. Madam Speaker, youth empowerment. As I have mentioned before, empowering our young people is about sustainable development. Youth empowerment has been elevated to one of the 7 priority areas in the SWAPO Party Election Manifesto Implementation Plan. We will consolidate the various government funds, grant, and scheme targeting the youth into a single ring-fenced youth fund that will focus exclusively on providing targeted support to youth-owned informal and micro business. This consolidation into one fund seeks to reduce the cost of administration. An initial seed amount of 257 million Namibian dollar has been allocated for in this financial year. As a government, we will strengthen the SME financing strategy to assist the MSC to address the challenges that they face, which include access to startup finance and lack of business skill, by increasing the coverage of credit grantee scheme, the mentorship and coaching program, and implementation of the venture capital fund. In the new financial year, an amount of 9.8 million Namibian dollar is budgeted to complement the software loan for the 121 youth-owned enterprise. In addition to existing efforts, the instrument towards youth empowerment will roll out the National Youth Internship and Apprenticeship Program this financial year, both in the private and the public sector. In the public sector, ministries are already directed that some of their budget for training, considering that the employees, they are employed because they have qualification, but we know one needs to improve all the time, but some of this money must be used for this purpose. Creative industries have also been elevated as a national strategic priority so as to enhance the creative and innovation of our youth in a holistic and integrated manner, and leverage the fourth industrial revolution. An amount of 50 million Namibian dollar towards the hosting of the 2025 National Art and Creative Industry Award has been allocated. Furthermore, the Art Fund Act of 2025 will be reviewed so as to expand the mandate in incorporating the Creative Industry Infrastructure and Equipment Fund. This fund will be capitalized and operationalized during this MTEF. The Ministry of Information and Communication Technology is directed, one, spearhead digitalization work together with the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Art and Culture, the private sector, and academia. The ministry should also develop a database of IT experts for use as appropriate. Oversee the establishment of special economic zone for the film industry in the country. While the Namibian Investment Promotion and Development Board is tasked to intensify investment promotion for Namibia as an international, world-class film-producing destination, and to include sports and technology as a priority sector for investment. Madam Speaker, quality education and training. Education is a tripartite partnership between government, parents, and learners or students. As a nation, we have a moral imperative to educate the Namibian child, to drive cost savings, and to minimize value to students benefiting the Namibian Student Financial Assistance Fund will be reintegrated back into the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Youth, Sports, Art and Culture by October 2025. Through the universal access to education policy, the Namibian government has been providing free primary and secondary education in all public schools. While tertiary education in Namibia is already significantly subsidized by the government, I'm pleased to announce that from the next academic year, commencing 2026, tertiary education will become 100% subsidized by the government. That means no registration fees and no tuition fees. At all public universities and technical and vocational education centers. That's why I appeal to my parents. That's why I appeal to my parents. That's why I appeal to my parents. While this will be gradual phased-in approach, your contribution as families and students for now, listen to this, for now, underline that. For now will be towards accommodation and other related costs. I'm fully aware of some people who might have difficulties, but this is the position. We heard your cry, which is, fees have fallen now. For a job you are not standing. You have been calling for it. Thank you, thank you. Okay, no free lunch, no free lunch. The above must serve as a specific message to our youth. That's what I'm saying to them now. For you, my children, the youth, that's now a golden opportunity accorded to you by your caring government in an independent Namibia. You are therefore to maximize use this opportunity to bring out your talents, to contribute meaningfully to the development of your country and support your parents. Once you are empowered, we must support our parents. That's very, very important. The 8th administration will therefore count on your individual and collective support and contribution towards our collective agenda of nation building and development. Madam Speaker, we have set ourselves to address the situation of informal settlement. The national alliance between the public, private sector, and members of the society in the upgrading of informal settlement and in the speed up delivery of low-cost residential houses and sanitation continue to be a priority. Going forward, the 8th administration has planned to construct 10,000 low-cost social housing per annum and 50,000 units over the 5 years term. The mass formalization, we say at least. We don't want to promise things we cannot do. What we say, we do it. The mass formalization of informal settlement will commence in earnest. There is a need for innovation to augment institutional capability and decongest the bureaucrat bottleneck that have been for too long undermining supply of urban land and housing. Where is the Minister of Urban in the center, in the chamber? To this end, the Minister of Urban and Rural Development is directed to establish a special land delivery task force under the existing laws, restructuring the township board and capactate the Surveyor General's office to fast-track servicing to creating more land and housing ownership opportunity. Every Namibian deserves the opportunity to a safe environment to call home. Fellow Namibians, the successful implementation of our plan will result in economic growth and improved living standard for Namibians, where citizens have access to basic human needs and live in a dignified life. The 8th administration aims to meet these basic human needs of decent shelter, food and potable water, quality education and health services, safety and security, so that every Namibian can realize their full potential. We have committed ourselves to the strengthening of government institutions, as well as the security and law enforcement agency. The management of the current floods in the country has underlined the importance of well-resourced security and law enforcement agencies. Both the Namibian Defense Force and NAMPO facilitated the efficient and effective movement of flood victims to safety, and have transported the food, water, and all essential services needed by the flood victims. I thank on behalf of the Namibian people, I thank our uniformed personnel for the quality service you continue to render to our people. I also thank all government offices, ministries, and agencies who have managed this year's flood effectively. Honorable Speaker, the SWAPO Party Manifesto Implementation Plan has identified some of the laws and policies that undermine effective service delivery that needs to be amended. In addition to that, members of the Cabinet, individually and collectively, are under clear directive to review and amend all the laws which are hindrance to quality service delivery in their areas of responsibility. I am appealing to you, honorable members of parliament, that when those laws are brought here, please handle them with urgency. We have no time to waste. I am now using this platform to call on the public, should there be a law which you consider to be a hindrance to service delivery, send your concern to the Minister of Justice. Where is the Minister? To the Minister of Justice and Labor Relations to speed up the process. Please be specific on the particular article and clause of consent. It will even be appropriate if you can submit your proposal to enable the discussion to be more focused for a solution or understanding to be reached. Understanding. Because you might understand it differently, but once you meet and discuss, you realize that there's no problem with the law, but the problem is the implementation. And then together we can start to implement it. Talking to ourselves, fellow Namibians, will never solve our problems. Let our worries be brought to the attention of those with national responsibility in a more structured manner. If I have it to read the 10,000 SMS coming maybe from ghosts, how do I really approach who for further discussion? Let us be more structured. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, fellow Namibians, as I conclude, I want to thank members of the 8th Parliament. In your maiden speeches, most of you have recognized the support you have received from your families. I really found this very significant, as our Constitution is very clear that the family is the basic unit of our society. That means a strong family will mean a strong nation. And if our parliamentarians, they pay attention to their family, for me, that's really rejoicing. Let me also add, and to use this opportunity to thank Lieutenant General Ndaitwa, my dear husband, my children, all my family members, household members for the support they continue to give me. Madam Speaker, fellow Namibians, we are fortunate to be here at this pivotal moment of our nation's history, where we can collectively shape our destiny. We may be from different regions, different race, different ethnic groups, different political parties, but we are all Namibians. Together we have upheld the enduring value of unity, liberty, and justice. Our path to prosperity shall not be easy. Nothing good comes easy. And we should all work hard to live up to the binding contract we have signed with Namibians. I am confident that together we can fulfill the promises that tomorrow holds for Namibia, that is just for each and every citizen. One Namibia, one nation. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much. We may now take our seats.